My dear relatives and friends, these people, when they are born into this world, we live our lives day after day.
เมื่อเกิดมาอยู่บนโลกเราใช้ชีวิตมีชีวิตอยู่กันทุกวันทุกวัน
If we don't consider what the Buddha taught, we can get lost in life, and sometimes people even deceive themselves into thinking that these things are the way they are.
เรานี้
We are not yet old, we are not yet sick, we are not yet ill, we still have good health, we have wealth to use, we have money, gold, honor,
มีทรัพย์
and
ได้ใช้
prestige.
มีเงินมีทองมีเกียรติมียศ
If we are so careless, it means we are negligent, because if people are careless while in this world, they forget themselves and fail to create merit.
แล้วก็จะลืมตัวเองไม่ได้สร้างบุญกุศล
The Buddha always warned, Pamaduma kunupratangi apamanoma chu no pratang, meaning that if a person is negligent, if they are negligent in their life,
คน
then
เรานี่ถ้าประมาทแล้วชีวิตที่มีอยู่เนี่ยถ้าประมาทแล้วพลาด
one
ไปนิด
wrong
เดียว
move and
ความ
death
ตายมา
came. This morning, a lay person, who is a teacher at Chat Camp School
มีโยม
near this temple, was
อา
killed.
จารย์สอนอยู่โรงเรียนจักคำนี่ไกลๆวัดนี่ก็มา
They came
ทำ
to
บุญ
make merit and
อุทิศ
dedicate
ส่ว
the
นบุญ
merit
กุ
to
ศล
their
ให้
mother
แม่
last month. I still saw
วั
them
นค่ำ
coming
มืด
to
มืด
make
ก่อน
merit.
ยังเห็นมาทำบุญอยู่ถาม
I
วัน
asked if
นี้
my mother
แม่
wasn't
ไม่
coming
มาเหรอ
today, and it turned out
ป
she
รากฏ
said she
ว่า
came to
บอ
make
กว่า
merit today.
วันนี้มาทำบุญอุทิศ
One
ส่วนบุ
dedicate
ญ
the
กุศ
merit
ล
of
ตัก
offering
น้ำให้
rice
แม่
and water to
เอ้า
my
เป็น
mother.
อะไร
What
ตาย
happened
ไป
to
แล้ว
her?
อ่ะ
She
ก็
passed away.
วัน
Oh,
นั้นเดือนที่
just
แล้ว
last
ยังมา
month
ทำ
she
บุญ
came
วัด
to the temple
แล้ว
to
วันนี้
make merit.
ทำไม
Why did she
จา
leave
กไป
so
รวดเร็
suddenly
ว
today?
บ้านอ
My
ยู่เชียง
home
ราย
is in
อยู่
Chiang
ริม
Rai,
คลอง
but I live in Changchong.
ปรากฏว่า
And it turns out
ช่าง
the
มา
handyman
ซ่อม
came
รา
to
วบัน
fix
ได
the
ที่มัน
wobbly
โยก
handrail.
ปรากฏ
It
ว่า
turned out the
ช่างก็
mechanic
ขึ้นไป
climbed up to tighten the
หัน
screws
ส
and
กรูน็อ
nuts.
ตข้างบนโยม
The
แม่
mother of the
ของโย
teacher
มอา
at
จารย์
Chakom School was
โรง
holding
เรีย
on
น
to
จั
the
กคำ
railing
นี่
at
ก็
the
จับ
bottom,
ราวข้าง
like
ล่า
a
งไว้เหมือนจับ
craftsman
ข้างล่าง
climbing
ช่า
up
ง
the
ขึ้นมาบน
stairs.
กระไดนี่ช่าง
The
ไป
craftsman
ทำอีท่า
somehow
ไหนก็
managed
ไม่
to
รู้
slip and fall down the
พ
stairs
ลั
from
ด
the
ต
top
ก
railing, rolling
จาก
down and
กระได
landing somewhere
ที่
else
ราวบันได
entirely
ข้างบน
on top of the teacher's
กลิ้ง
mother.
ตกลงมาตกไหนไม่ตกตกมาทับโยมแม่อาจารย์ อาจา
The
รย์
teacher from
โรงเรียน
Kamkanathorn
จักคำ
School
คณา
just
ธ
now
รเมื่อ
fell
กี้
and
เนี่ย
died instantly. He
ต
didn't
ก
even
ใส่
realize it.
ตายไป
He
เลย
fell
โยม
like that
ไม่รู้
with a
สึกตัว
loud
ต
bang,
กใส่
and
กระ
his
ตกแบบ
head
เนี้ยต
hit
ก
the
โป๊
ground.
กแล้วก็หัวขมำลงฟาดกับพื้น โอ้มานั่ง
Oh,
คิด
thinking about it
มันรว
now,
ดเร็ว
it
เหลือ
happened
เกิน
so quickly.
เมื่อวาน
Yesterday evening,
เมื่อวาน
Mr.
เย็น
Sananpathayum came to help at the
โยม
temple
สนั่น
and
โพ
told me
ธา
this story.
โยมก็มา
One
ช่
of
วย
his
วัดนี่แหละ
nephew-in-laws had just
ก็มาเล่า
attended
อย่าง
a
นี้แหละว่า
cremation, and he
หลาน
suddenly
เขยคนหนึ่ง
became ill.
เพิ่งไปเผาศพมาเป็นอะไร อยู่ๆขึ้นกระไดเหมือนกัน ขึ้น
He
กระได
climbed
แล้
the
วก็ไป
stairs
พ
and
ลาดอยู่ที่
somehow
ไหนไม่รู้
lost his balance,
เดินห
falling
งายหลัง
backward from
ต
the
ก
upper
จากด้าน
floor
บน
and
หัว
hitting his
ฟา
head
ด
on
ล
the
งพื้น
ground,
หัวปูด
resulting
หั
in
ว
a
โน
swollen and bruised head.
ตายอีก
Another
แปล
death.
กดี
That's strange. But I
อาต
heard
มา
two
ก็ได้
stories
ยิน
about
สอ
it
งเรื่อง
yesterday
เมื่อ
and
วา
this
นกับ
morning.
เช้า
It's
วันนี้ก็มา
heartbreaking
ส
to
ลด
think,
ใจว่า
wow,
นี่หนอ
this is what people are like,
คน
just
เรา
seeing
นี่
them one moment
เห็น
ago.
กันอยู่หลัดๆมันอะไรก็
Nothing
ไม่
is
ไม่
certain
แน่
in
นอน
this
ทักอย่าง
world. Everything
ปุ๊บปั๊
happens
บ
so
ไปเลย
suddenly,
ปุ๊บปั๊บไปเลย
so
อย่างนี้
unexpectedly.
เดี๋ยวนี้ยิ่ง
Nowadays,
ปัจจุ
especially
บัน
as we
เนี่ย
see in the
อย่า
news
ง
about
ที่เรา
earthquakes,
เห็นเนี่ย
people don't feel like they're going to die.
อย่างข่าวแผ่นดินไหวอย่างข่าวแผ่นดินไหวเนี่ยโยม ไม่รู้สึกว่าตัวเองจะตายเลย อยู่กั
We
น
were
ธรรมดา
just minding
ธรรม
our
ดา
own
เห็นเขา
business when I
ถ่าย
saw
คลิป
them
มา
filming a video.
เขาถ่าย
They
ค
were
ลิป
filming
มา
us
ว่า
being in the room when
อยู่
suddenly
ในห้องอยู่ดีๆ เกิด
There was an earthquake, and before I could do anything, I was sitting there and suddenly fell off my chair with a thud, just like the news reported in Uzuera, Philippines.
โยมแล้วอย่างที่ข่าวออกโอ้ที่ประเทศเวเนซุเอลาประเทศฟิลิปปินส์
The building collapsed and instantly killed someone. That's what happens. You never know. Life is so fast-paced. We must never be careless.
ชีวิตเนี่ยมันเร็วเหลือเกินเรานี่จะต้องไม่ประมาทเด็ดขาดคำว่าประมาทนี่แปลว่าอะไร
What does negligence mean? This requires understanding the meaning. The Buddha said that a person who lacks mindfulness is a person who is negligent. Being mindful and self-controlled means not being careless. But reckless driving, like talking on the phone while driving, is considered reckless driving because your mind is distracted.
โทรไปขับไปอย่างเงี้ยประมาทขับรถสติเลื่อนลอยไปก็ชื่อว่าประมาท
What can happen if you act carelessly, like a worker losing focus for just a moment? It can be negligent. If you're not careful while walking, you could hit your head on the ground, bump into something. Anything can happen in life. That's why the Buddha taught us that.
เพราะนั้นพุทธเจ้าถึงสอนในว่า
The best protective tool for our bodies is nothing less than being mindful. If we are mindful, it means we are aware, and we are always mindful, so we will not be negligent. Being vigilant requires practicing mindfulness. Just like all of you who practice Dharma must cultivate mindfulness to stay present with yourself. A person who is mindful of themselves is said to be vigilant, and that's what the Buddha said. Mindfulness is the path to immortality. This means that even if a person dies, they may have been constantly conscious of their body, but it's not pure mindfulness. The seventh purification of mindfulness, as taught by the Buddha, then one becomes careless, like ordinary people who haven't practiced mindfulness. They're considered careless because their mindfulness tends to be preoccupied with wealth, money, status, and all sorts of other things. Their mind becomes scattered. But mindfulness, specifically right mindfulness, samasati, in the Eightfold Path, is mentioned by the Buddha in the seventh point. Right mindfulness and right concentration, mindfulness must be directed towards the body. The Buddha taught 4 aspects: seeing the body within the body, seeing feelings within feelings, seeing the mind within the mind, and seeing phenomena within phenomena. For example, seeing the body within the body, having mindfulness, gives practitioners an advantage. Being mindful when standing, being mindful when walking, taking steps with mindfulness, straightening and expanding. This is how we cultivate mindfulness. If we are mindful, then when we control our mind, the mind flashes by so quickly. It moves so fast. The Buddha said that nothing is as fast as the mind. Nothing is as evil as the mind. The mind is worse than a monkey. The Buddha said it's worse than a monkey. You can be sitting there minding your own business and suddenly jump out of nowhere. That's how evil the mind is. Because nothing can surpass the mind. Not even light, not even sound. Both sound and light, like the sound of the sun and the sunlight that shines on the world, take longer to process than the mind. Just a little thought of the sun, and it travels faster than light itself. The light hasn't even arrived yet, but the mind thinking of the sun has already gone there. That's how fast it is. That's why the Buddha said we must use mindfulness in our practice. Those of us who are born into this world, mostly, it's those who don't control themselves. They don't control their minds. They don't control their awareness. Their awareness isn't present with them. That's why we must not be negligent when we walk, stand, sit, or lie down. Those who practice mindfulness will have an advantage, like lay people who practice mindfulness. For example, if we do it as a profession, in the morning or at every moment, throughout the day, evening, night, during morning prayers and rituals, maintain mindfulness. Mindfulness will keep you from wandering outside your body. Mindfulness means being aware. It controls the mind. Like, to use an analogy, it's like a charioteer pulling two ropes at the noses of a horse, a cow, and a buffalo. When you're pulling the cord, if you pull to the left, the cow goes to the left and the horse goes to the left. If you pull to the right, the cow goes to the right. That's mindfulness. Let's define our bodies as being like horses, cows, or buffaloes. If you move it to the left or right, it depends on the person's mindfulness, whether they are aware of whether it's going left or right. That's mindfulness. If we have mindfulness to guide and observe, that means we are not being careless. Mindfulness practice, when we have it, has a significant impact when we meditate. For example, if we focus on Buddha or cultivate mindfulness of breathing, it's very beneficial. We establish awareness by maintaining mindfulness in various stages: initial, intermediate, upachara, and finally, 1.0 nis, isopana. And then you just rant according to your emotions. Being alone, being with yourself. Try thinking about it. If someone can't be alone, they'll worry. It will become an obstacle. They'll keep thinking, oh, I'm old now. Who will be with me? Who will take care of me? Managing the physical body is the most important thing, especially when someone is lying down. For example, relatives who are bedridden. What will you do if you become bedridden? Ask yourself this question. What will you do if you become bedridden? When you get old and are bedridden, what are you going to do with your mind? People who aren't prepared will be anxious and won't be able to be alone. You can't be alone, but if you practice meditation, you can be with yourself. For example, if we reflect on the virtues of the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, and practice meditation frequently, I take refuge in the Buddha. I take refuge in the Dhamma. I take refuge in the Sangha. I take refuge in the Buddha. I take refuge in the Dhamma. I take refuge in the Sangha. Dutiyampi, Tatiyampi. You can keep going back and forth to Manet Saka. Itipiso Buddhakun, Swakato Dhammakun, Subhatipano Sanghakun. This is also acceptable. We have a refuge, a support system, which is mindfulness of the Buddha, mindfulness of the Dhamma Dhamminusati, and mindfulness of the Sangha. If we practice like this, we can stay here and our mindfulness won't wander. Don't you think that's better? It's better than sitting there dwelling on the past, thinking, oh, I regret so much wasted time here. I regret that. I regret this. I regret everything. I regret it so much. I can't get it back. It's just a thought that's already past. And the stories are already in the past. The Buddha said, the past is a figment of imagination. The past is gone. The past, the distant past, it's all in the past. Why think about it? It's not the present anymore. For example, let's say we think about youth, about being young. When we were young, we were strong and everything was good. Our brains and intellect were sharp. We could think and gain insight. But when we think back to the past, we gain nothing. It's just thoughts. And what are thoughts? Thoughts are what they are: the mind, the mental element. Thoughts are the element of the mind. What do you gain from thinking about it? You gain nothing. It's just a thought, a reflection on the past. Does that past still exist? No. What was it like? It's all in the past. Once it's over, let it be over. This is what the Buddha taught. The past, the past, and the future. The future is something that has not yet arrived. Why think about things that haven't happened yet? Oh, I'm sitting here thinking about the past and then thinking about the future. What will happen when we get old? Who will take care of us? Where will we put our money? There's so much suffering, so much misery. Thinking about it just makes me more miserable. There's no point in suffering. That's why when we live our lives, we must live in the present moment. That's why the Buddha taught the monks. Becoming a true monk isn't easy. You have to go through a process of observing the precepts. It is within the process of observing precepts, controlling one's body, speech, and mind. That's what makes a quiet monk. Not letting your thoughts wander is good. Not adding embellishments to things is great. If someone can achieve this state of mind, oh, it's truly excellent. The good thing is that you don't have to send the past to the future. If you don't send the past to the future, you don't have to worry about it. Regarding the future, the past is gone. The future hasn't arrived yet. The present is about mindfulness. We must be aware that things are born, they age, they exist, they die, and they are near. For example, observe your breath. It's like this. It's like life. It comes into being. When there's no oxygen, we die. It's like this. When you breathe in, you take in cool air, and when you breathe out, you take out hot air. Don't believe me? Try breathing again. When you breathe in, it's cool, but when you breathe out, it's warm. See? This is it. It cleanses it. It's a miraculous process. The Buddha said that the physical body must be purified, constantly cleansing it by changing and exchanging elements, by letting the air in to purify it at every moment. But for those who practice meditation, that's not the case at all. It doesn't have to be cold or hot. Just sit and meditate peacefully. The calmer you become, the more subtle your breath becomes, more and more refined. Isn't that strange? Until there's almost no breath left, like a needle. A little bit goes in, a little bit goes out. I'm aware that air is coming in and going out. That's all. And it's cool too. It's cool. See? Yeah, it's good. This is the path. Right mindfulness must be cultivated to attain right concentration. For those who don't practice meditation, it's difficult because their minds tend to wander. As I mentioned, if you try to sit and meditate for even 5 minutes, they can't stand it. They squirm and fidget. That's the mind problem. I want to writhe, to stand up, to sit down, to go back and forth, to hear the sound of something hitting something. It's gone. It's speeding along. It's on its own. That's why the Buddha taught the Dharma to the world, to get people, especially those Buddhists who are heavily burdened with defilements, to change from a mind that dwells on dust and dirt, burdened with thick layers of greed, anger, infatuation, hatred, jealousy, and resentment. That's the mind of an ordinary person, a thick-skinned person. The word thick here refers to the heart itself. It's thick with greed, anger, and delusion. It's difficult to remove these things. The heart remains heavy with desires and cravings, constantly creating and fabricating things. In the end, one gains nothing. When he died, they just threw everything away. It's like, I got it when I went to help the carpenter with the handrail, but I don't know how the carpenter did it. It fell on top of the homeowner, killing him. Oh, it's so crowded. It's truly pathetic. Walk up to your own house. Miss, he fell backward, stiffly, and hit his head down like this. Oh, who would have thought that? We don't know if we'll die today or tomorrow. That's why the Buddha taught us to do good deeds today. hurry up and do what
อย่าง
I've
ที่
been
มา
talking
พูด
about,
อย่าง
like
เทว
the
ดา
deities
เนี่ย
do. But the word angel
เท
can
ว
also
ดา
be
นี่
translated as
แปล
one
โด
who
ย
is
ภาษา
happy.
นี่ก็คือ
Those
ผู้
who
มีความ
go
สุ
to
ข ก็
enjoy
ได้
the pleasures also
ผู้
get
ไป
them.
เสวย
It's
สุข ก็
okay
ได้
to not
เป็นผู้
sweat
ไม่มี
at
เหงื่อ
all,
ก็ได้ เพราะว่า
because
เทวดาไม่มี
angels
ร่าง
do
กาย
not
หยา
have
บ และ
physical
อุบาท
bodies like us. The reason
เว
the
ลา เท
angels
วดา
reside
ไป
in
สถิต
heaven
อยู่
is
ใน สวรร
because
ค์ ส
of
วร
their
รค์ เนี่ย
merit.
ก็เพราะบุ
As
ญ
the Lana proverb says,
คนที่
those
ถ
who
อด
shed their
นะ
clothes,
อย่าง ภา
4
ษิต ล้านนา
people
เขาบอกว่า
carrying, 3 people
4
parading,
คน
alone
3
sitting
คน
on a
แห่ คน
bench,
เดียวนั่งแคร่
2
2 คน
guides,
นำทาง
3. 4
4 คน
people
หาม
carry
ดิน
the
น้ำ
4
ลม ไฟ
elements,
ธาตุ ทั้ง 4
earth,
หาม
water,
3 คนแห่
wind,
กามตัณหา
and
ภว
fire.
ตัณหา
3
อ
people
วิภว
broke
ตัณหา
free from
ตัณ
lust,
หาอยากได้ อยากมี อยาก
desire,
เป็น ไม่อยากได้ ไม่อยากมี ไม่อยา
desire
ก
for
เป็น
wanting,
มันปรากฏ
having,
เกิดขึ้
and
น
being, not wanting, not having,
คน
not
เดียวนั่ง
being.
แค่คือใจ
It
นั่งอยู่
happened.
บน ร่างกาย
But
ที่
only one
ผุ
person
พัง
sits there,
รอจะถู
the
กเผา
mind
นี่แหละ
resting on a
2
body
คนนำทาง
bound
คื
and
อ
waiting
บา
to
ป
be
กับบุญ
burned. The 2 guiding
ถา
forces
มอีก
are
ต่อไป
sin and
ภาษิต
merit.
ว่า
Further
ไข้เย็นให้
questioning,
อาบน้ำ
the
วังหิน
proverb says, For
ไม่
a
มี
cold
ศีลให้มั่น
fever,
ค้า
bathe in the stone
อยาก
palace.
ขึ้นสู่ส
For
วร
a
รค์ชั้น
virtuous
ฟ้าให้มั่น
fever,
ฆ่าเจ้าเอา
diligently
ของ
trade, and to ascend to heaven,
หมาย
diligently
ความ
kill
ว่า
the Lord and
ทุกวัน
seize
นี้
his
ถ้าเราอยู่
possessions.
แบบ
It
เทว
means
ดา
that today, if we live like angels,
เราจะ
we
ต้อง
must have
มีคุณ
virtue
ธรร
as
ม
our
ที่
primary focus,
1
living with
อยู่
morality
กับ
and
น้ำ
righteousness.
ศีล
Let's
อยู่
reflect
กับ
on this.
น้ำธรรม
Morality and
เราลอง
righteousness
มา
do
นั่ง
not
คิด
kill animals.
น้ำศี
They
ล น้ำธรรม
are
ไม่
kalam.
ฆ่าสัตว์ใจเย็น
Conversely, killing animals leads
ตร
to
งกันข้าม ถ้า
impatience,
ฆ่าสัตว์ก็
while
ใจร้อน
stealing leads to calmness.
ไม่ลักทรั
Conversely,
พย์ก็ใจ
falling
เย็
in
น
love
ตรง
with
กัน
someone
ข้าม
else's
ถ้าไปลัก
possessions
ของเขาก็
also
ใจร้อน
leads to impatience.
ผิดกา
Committing
ม
adultery
ใน
with
ลูก
another
ในบุตร
person's
ในภร
wife
ร
or
ยา
daughter
ของคน
causes
อื่น
anger after the
พอ
act,
ทำไปแล้ว
but refraining from
ใจ
it
ก็ร้อน
brings
แต่
peace
ถ้า
of
ไม่ท
mind.
ำใจก็เย็น ไม่
One
พูด
should
เท็จ
also
ไม่พูด
refrain from
คำหยาบ ไม่
lying,
พูดส่อ
using
เสียด ไม่
abusive
พูดสรุป
language,
พรุษวาจา
slander, and harsh words.
คนไม่
Those
ท
who don't follow through
ำ
on
ใน
their
คำพู
words
ด
will
ก็อยู่
live
เย็น
in
แต่
peace,
ถ้าค
but
น
those who
ทำ
are
ตรงกัน
honest
ข้าม
but do
ก็
the
อยู่ร้อน
opposite will live in
ดื่
trouble.
มกินสุราเมลัยเป็นที่ตั้งความ
Drinking
ประมาทถ้า
alcohol
คนใด
is a
เว้นได้อยู่
cause
เย็น
for
แต่
recklessness.
ถ้าคนใด
If
ดื่มก็
anyone
อยู่
is
ร้อน
spared from peace and
มันก็เลือกอ
tranquility,
ยู่ที่เราเนี่
but
ย
if someone drinks, they
อ
will
ย่าง
stay hot.
ค
The
นเราเนี่ย
choice is
ความเป็นผู้
ultimately
มีศีลมี
ours.
ธรรมเนี่ย
Just like
เทว
humans
ดาเนี่ย
who are
เขาเป็น
virtuous
ผู้ประ
and
ประกอบ
moral,
ตนอ
and
ยู่
like
เส
the
มอ
gods who always
เขา
conduct
จะรักษา
themselves
ธรร
in
ม 2
accordance
ข้อ
with these
เรียกว่าเท
principles.
วธรรม
They uphold
ฮิ
2
ริ
virtues
ภัยชั่ว
called divine
โอตปะ
virtues,
กลัวบาป
fear of sin and fear
ธรร
of
ม 2 ข้อ
evil.
นี่ ถ้า
These 2
ญาติโยมนำไป
precepts,
ใช้เถอะ
if
เราไป
you,
ฝึกตน
the
ซะ
Le people,
ถ้าเรา
apply
มี
them,
ความละอายใน
try to
ใจ
practice
อย่างเช่น
them.
ว่า
If we have a sense of
เห็น
shame in
ขอ
our
งเขา
hearts,
แล้วเรา
for
ไม่คิดจะรัก
example,
ของเขา
when we see someone
อันนี้
else's
ศีล
possessions,
มันรักษา
we
อย่างนี้
don't think of loving them. That's
เห็น
how
ของ
we
เขาตก
uphold the
บอก
precepts.
เขาว่า
If
คุ
you
ณ
see
ตก ของ
someone's
คุณต
belongings
กก็ให้
fall
เขา
and you tell them,
อย่างนี้
you
เป็นต้น
fell,
อันนี้มันเป็น
or
ความ
give
สุ
them
ข
to them,
แต่ถ้าลอง
that's a
ตรง
kind
กั
of
นข้าม
happiness. But if,
เห็น
conversely,
แล้วคิ
you
ด
see
อยากจะ
something
รั
and
ก
think, I
คิ
want
ด
to
อยาก
love
จะ
it,
ได้
I want
อ
to
ยาก
have
จะ
it,
มี
I
อยาก
want
จะ
to
เป็น
be it, then
ไปฆ่า
killing
สัตว์
animals,
ลักทรัพย์
stealing,
ประพฤติผิด
committing
ในการ
wrongdoings,
กล่าวเท็จด่า
lying,
แช่ง
cursing, and spreading
กล่าว
slanderous
คำประทุ
words
ษบา
are
จา
all useless.
ไม่เป็นประ
Drinking
โยชน์
alcohol is a form of
ดื่ม
heedlessness
กิ
and
น
is
สุรา
not
เมลัยเป็นที่
beneficial.
ตั้ง
But if
ควา
a
มประมา
person
ท
has
ก็ไม่เป็น
shame
ประโย
and
ชน์
refrains from it,
แต่
then I would
ถ้าคนมี
absolutely
หิริ
not take
เว้
it.
น ไม่
Shame
เอาแล้
and
ว
fear
ฉัน
of
ไม่เอา
evil,
เด็ดขาด
fear of sinness
อา
is
ย
the first
อายต่อ
virtue of the
ต่อค
gods.
วามชั่ว โอ
Therefore,
ตปะ
those
ก
who
ลัวต่อ
behave
บาป
like the
อันนี้เป็น
deities
ธรรม
will
ข้อแรกของ
also
เทวดา
become deities. The Buddha
เพราะฉะนั้
said
น
that
คนที่ประ
anyone
พฤ
can
ติตามเท
behave
วดา
like a
เนี่ยก็จะ
Brahma.
เป็นเทว
The
ดาด้วย
Brahmas have 4
พุทธเจ้าก็บ
virtues:
อก ถ้าใครจะ
loving
ประพฤติ
kindness,
อย่างพรหมก็
compassion,
ได้
sympathetic joy, and
พรหม
equanimity.
นี่เขา
The
มีธรรม
Dharma
อยู่
of the gods,
สี่
even
ข้อ
Brahma.
เมตตาก
These
รุณา มุ
deities
ทิตา
practice
ความปรารถนา
charity,
ดี เมตตา
morality, and
ทำใจวาง
meditation.
ปกติ
The Brahma realm focuses
ธรรมของ
solely
เท
on
วดานี่
meditation. one.
พรหมก็ดี
Brahma cultivates
เทวดา
meditation,
นี่เขา
just
สร้าง
like
ทาน
ascetics,
ศีลภาวนา
and hermits
พรหมนี่เขา
practice
สร้าง
mindfulness
ภาวนาอย่าง
meditation.
เดียว
This is because they see the truth.
พรหมเนี่ย
As
เขา
the
สร้า
Buddha
ง
said,
ภาวนา
the
เจ
merit
ริญ
of
ภาว
giving
นา
is
เหมือน
not equal
นัก
to the
พรต
merit
นัก
of
บวชถือ
observing
ศี
the
ล
precepts.
เขาเจริญ
Giving
กรรมฐาน
alms can
เพราะ
only
นั้นจะ
lead
เห็น
to
ตัวนี้แหละที่
heaven.
พระพุทธ
Giving
เจ้า
alms can
อานิ
only
สงส์
lead
ทา
to
นนี่ไม่
heaven,
เท่ากับรัก
to
ษา
the
ศีล
celestial realms, because
ทาน
these
นี่มัน
two
ไปส่ง
virtues
ไปได้แค่
avoiding
สวรรค์
evil and fearing
ทานนี่
sin
มันส่ง
lead
ไป
to
ได้แค่สวร
rebirth
รค์
as a
ไม่ต้องไป
deity.
อยู่ในเทว
As
โล
for
ก
the
นี่แหละ
Brahma
เพราะมี
realms,
ธรรม 2 ข้อ
those who
เนี่ย
practice
ไม่ชั่ว
morality
กลัว
and
บาป
possess
จะ
the
ไปเกิด
four
เป็นเทว
Brahma
ดา
viharas like
ส่วนพรห
compassion,
มเนี่ย คน ผู้
sympathetic
ปฏิ
joy,
บัติใน
and
ศีลเนี่ย
equanimity,
มีพรหม
will
วิ
be
หารทั้ง 4
reborn
เมตตาก
as
รุณา มุ
Brahma
ทิตา เว
after
ขา
death.
ตาย
This
ไป
is
แล้วไปเกิดเป็น
especially
พรหม
true for
โดยเฉ
those
พาะ
who
การเจ
cultivate
ริญ
their
จิต
minds
ภาว
through
นา
meditation.
เมื่
When
อ
their
จิตภา
minds
ว
are
นา
well
อบรม
trained,
จิตดี
they
แล้วเนี่ยเป็น
experience
สุข
happiness. regarding deities, as the Buddha mentioned in the 10 types of mindfulness, and these are things to remember. 1. Buddhanusati, remembering the Buddha. 2. Dominiosate, remembering the Dhamma of the Buddha. 3. Sangunusate, remembering the Sang. Divatnusati, remembering deities. The contemplation of deities, Divatanusati, involves remembering the deities because they are ashamed of wrongdoing. They fear sin and they possess virtues or moral qualities. These two aspects are called Diva Dhamma, divine virtues. When we establish the contemplation of deities in our minds, people who are ashamed and fear sin are born with morality. Oh, please sing. Singing without shame, without fear of sin. If someone commits acts like killing animals, stealing, lying, or drinking alcohol, they have no morality. They have no shame, no fear of sin. But if a person has morality, maintaining it in their heart will have benefits and advantages. Remembering leads to heaven after death. For example, remembering one's generosity, remembering mindfulness of breathing, remembering death, remembering liberation from defilements, and so on. But the Dhamma that the Buddha taught us to constantly remember are mindfulness practices, so that we can uplift our minds. It can be lifted to an adjustable level. If you can lift it to the level of a monk, you will go to heaven. Raising the level of meditation can lead to the Brahma world. If a person observes the precepts well, a layperson can reside in either the Brahma world or the Deva world. And secondly, the Deva and Brahma worlds are better than the human world. It's better than the human realm, and it's much better than the lower realms. In the lower realms, the mind is heavy, like the gods. When they are reborn as humans, they are born like Indra, for example. Lord Indra has many names, such as the name Saka, Lord Indra. To be greater than the gods in heaven, those gods in heaven, from the Katuk Maharagika to the Tavatamsa heaven. The deities in both the lower and upper heavenly realms are called the four heavenly kings, Chatulokap. Indra is a ruler, that's why he's called Saka. Indra built the road, that's why it's called Magavan. Do you see? Like Saka, Magavan, and Purandada, because the name Purandada means he was the first to give alms. This is how the name Indra is referred to. He has had various names at different times. The god Indra, while seated on his throne in heaven, is associated with many events in the human world. When something happens, you can instantly recall 1,000 things. That's why it's called Sahasraka. Sahasraka, which means being able to recall 1,000 things. That's why angels are so virtuous, and the virtues they possessed when they were humans, like angels. When he was a human, he performed many good deeds, especially in the realm of generosity. Lord Indra accumulated a great deal of merit through generosity. If you observe, for example, Lord Aniruddha was once Lord Indra in a previous life. Reincarnation led him to be born as Aniruddha. During the time of our Buddha, he was born into the royal family, a cousin of the Buddha, and moreover, possessed clairvoyance and This is the perfection of generosity, Dana Paramita. Indra will cultivate these two individuals who will not harbor anger. When anger arises, you suppress it immediately. Okay, I know I'm angry now, so let's control that anger. This is called the foot of the anger killer. When the god Indra is reborn, he has to take care of his parents or his mother. Those who are reborn as Indra must take care of their parents. This is an example. They took care of their parents and never abandoned them. They are an example of filial
เป็นตัวอย่างของ
piety.
ความกตัญญูกตเวที
And when parents are alive, whether in the animal realm or the human realm, whether they are in poverty and hardship, Indra will never abandon them or abandon them.
พระอินทร์นี่จะไม่ทิ้งดูแลพ่อแม่นี่คือตัวอย่างของคนอยู่ในโลก
This is an example of how people live in this world, as told by the Buddha. At that time, the feet of Monakshatra, the king of the rishis, in the city of Vishal. If you can't remember, if anyone has been to India, it's in the north, near Kapilavastu, near Kushinagar, where the Buddha's body was cremated. Go and ask the Buddha. King Ma, Rini, the king of the rishis, asked the Buddha, Venerable Seer, at that time were you residing in the Egu Akna forest in the Mavana hall? If anyone thinks of India and can't picture it, just think of that place with the round, curved domes. That's where the Buddha resided. Mahali went and asked if the Buddha knew it. Do you know Indra, my lord? The Buddha replied that he knew. And has he ever seen Indra? The Buddha said he saw it. So, do you know how Indra was reborn as Indra? The Buddha said so. The Buddha knew, saw, and experienced it. But ordinary people, like in India, they have rituals of worship. They worship gods. For example, in Hinduism, they worship Shiva and Vishnu. Various statues of deities, including Indra, are worshipped. Those named Saka, Purandada, and Magavan are well-known figures of Indra, because the Buddha said that he was a great god. But the Dhamma that the Tathagata knew about Indra's virtues was, as mentioned, that he was a giver of a person who is not angry. They are the ones who create the path. To be a caregiver for parents. He is a humble person. It was someone who said no, excluding speech, obscene language, offensive words, sarcastic remarks, slander, and he was a humble person. These 7 things are called exemplary objects. For example, a simple one is humility. People, as the monks bless, say Abhifadana, S. Rida, Nika, Fas Acayino, Ket, Lo, Dhammafadanti, Yufan Nomorsuka, Bal, Gate. It means that whoever offers respect, respect like this, like bowing respectfully. Whoever knows how to bow and prostrate, always paying homage. A virtuous person will prosper in all 4 aspects of Dharma. It's about age, social standing, health, and strength. Do you see? Someone who only does this much. Be humble and respectful towards those who have been kind to you. You've earned merit. People who do this will not fall into decline. Those who do this often will prosper. This is the Dharma that the Buddha taught King Mahali. Humility and respect for those who deserve respect. Do you see? And for those who live in this world and don't know what it's like today, just take a look. Even children these days don't respect their parents. It's heartbreaking to see. Parents often ask me how to get rid of their children's aggression. Oh, that's very difficult because it hasn't been instilled in them from a young age. It's not something that's instilled from childhood. If it were, parents would teach it. Tell them to go to the temple, to bow and pray. This starts from the father, then the mother. I guarantee that if your child goes to the temple, they will be humble and not arrogant. See? That's what civilized people are like. For example, with Thai culture, foreigners are amazed by it, like the news about the teacher appreciation ceremony. The Ven.Kruba ceremony, a traditional Thai teacher appreciation ceremony, is something foreign teachers have never seen before. They come to teach students in Thailand, teaching languages and other things. When it came to the Ven.Kruba ceremony, which just passed, the students brought flower arrangements to pay respects to their teachers. The foreigner, bewildered, responded by raising his hands in a respectful gesture of humility towards his teacher. He remarked, "Isn't that beautiful? Look, an angel has been born." If people who are like angels have been trained like this since childhood, and we compare that to schools in Western countries, when you enter the classroom, everyone responds with the same good morning. Good morning, saying good morning, good morning. Then, when you stand straight, you say, "Good morning, teacher," or "Good morning, sir, madam." Raising your hands in a respectful greeting to the teacher before the lesson begins. See how different it is between Western and Eastern cultures? And which one is more developed? This one. When foreigners see this, they don't want to go home because they see the morality of the Thai people, their character, their willingness to go to temples, their generosity and kindness. That's why Buddhism is beneficial. It starts with the father and mother through religion. The principles that foster humility, as seen in the temple, if I don't explain them to you, you'll just keep saying sadhu, well done, even though sadhu means good. You see, you only say sadhu. The monk gave blessings for longevity, happiness, and strength. Amen. Amen. What does that mean? I don't know. I don't know. That's why I have to explain it to you. Just listen carefully to the blessings. Listening to it leads to wisdom and understanding. Why hide it? Translate it for them so they can understand. Why do we need to explain and elaborate that to raise someone up to be a good person? It must be through morality, virtue, and wisdom. That's how children will get good role models. Try it. Which family does that? Sending children to school, especially schools with Western-style dormitories, has many consequences. Several characters in the drama Kinanga Thai drama share their experiences, explaining why they sent their children to international schools. Their children's personalities changed upon returning. They became aggressive and self-centered. And another thing, he doesn't know how to spend money. He lives with his parents all the time and only spends money without earning it. That's the real problem. No matter what the parents say, it's still a headache. See, this is what's gone wrong from the very beginning of the education system. Western science focuses on material aspects. They don't examine the spiritual side like we do in the East. The science of virtuous conduct cultivates the mind to be in harmony with morality. Why are morality and virtue intertwined? Because it is used in society. If there are a lot of people violating moral principles, then you should give it a try. In Europeans, there are immoral people who display animalistic behavior, engaging in sexual acts, even in the middle of the street, on beaches, or in the water. But Asians, they are ashamed and afraid of sin. They wouldn't do such things, especially sacred places like temples. Oh no, absolutely not, because they are sacred places, sacred sites, places that exemplify good deeds. You see, if only we had humanity, Humans are attached to the fact that they must constantly remember that being in a temple, a place of merit and virtue, shapes the hearts of those who come to live in the temple as monks. They must then strive to be monks through the precepts. Lay people come to the temple to listen to sermons, and then they must purify their minds. When they return home, they must apply the moral principles, living a virtuous and righteous life. This is what the Buddha taught, instructing humanity to cultivate their minds, to elevate themselves like deities. In addition, other acts include helping and supporting others, giving alms like those of Indra, and sacrificing to help society. They build roads, schools, hospitals, help society in other ways, help animals and people, that's it. And there are also people who, having self-control, refraining from speaking evil, doing evil, and thinking evil, controlling anger, these are all blessings for life. Therefore, elevating our minds is very important. If someone lives their life according to the Dharma like this, and navigates life on this earth, if we understand the Dharma, we will understand life because of the Dharma that the Buddha taught, from the beginning to the end, from the highest to the highest. If we Buddhists learn from the beginning like our grandparents and great-grandparents did, all the way to the present, the highest is nirvana, the elevation of the mind to a higher level. If we can elevate our minds to a higher level, oh, that's heavenly merit, going to the gods, to the Brahma realms. We won't descend to a lower level because we already know this. The disease of anger and delusion will follow you to hell wherever you go. It weighs heavily on your mind. Like I said before, people die easily. If you're not prepared, if you lack mindfulness, what will you do when death strikes? Things happen so suddenly. Especially nowadays, like this, someone was in a really good building, and then suddenly there's an earthquake, and they're all dead. See how fast it happens? Because anything can happen in this day and age. Therefore, we must cultivate virtuous minds. Transform your heart to become like an angel. Just as the teachings of the Buddha were given to Mahatma, he knows himself. Indra saw the gods, knew the gods, and understood the principles that transform ordinary people into gods, namely Hiri and Ot, teaching people the Dharma that leads to the Brahma world from an ordinary person to a Brahma world depends on observing the Apasata precepts, like today, which is a holy day. The observance of the Buddhist precepts is very important because the Buddha instructed that they be abstained from meditation during the waxing moon phase. The full moon causes people's minds to become infatuated and deluded. It's easy to fall in love and hate, especially when it's biased towards itself. It will have emotions that favor itself. The Buddha taught us to quell this through morality and celibacy, specifically the Apasata precepts today. And if someone observes the Apasata precepts, dedicating themselves to observing the precepts for one day and one night. But when you pray, you don't even have to be at a temple to pray in front of the Buddha. After you've finished praying, concentrate firmly. If possible, don't speak. Keep your mouth shut. It's best to be alone if you can. Don't talk to anyone. Just eat. Don't complain. Don't speak to anyone. Eat, then practice Dharma. Walk in meditation, sit in meditation, cultivate mindfulness. That's how you live like a Brahma, living in the Brahma Vihara, the abode of Dharma. This abode is the dwelling place of Brahma, and Brahma lives there through the power of meditation. This is due to the power of meditation. If it dies while in a state of Brahma-like emotional absorption, it's like a nun sitting in meditation. My dear nun, practicing this meditation, you are living like a Brahma. You, my love person, are living like a Brahma even at home. Because there's nothing wrong with having loving kindness in the heart, compassion in the heart, sympathetic joy in the heart, and equanimity in the heart at all times. This is how Brahma is. When Brahma dies, he sends these emotions. That's the benefit of loving kindness. The benefits of loving kindness are 11, as the Buddha stated. Dear relatives and followers, this is the benefit of loving kindness, which is the Brahma Vihara divine abode. Therefore, to attain supreme bliss, one must first be a raw Brahma. Just like what we see in the temple, like the monks who observe the temple today, because today is he observed celibacy, the 8 precepts, and the Apasata precepts, fasting from morning until noon, after which he practiced Dharma. This is the story of the ascetic, Mr. Dukkada, that I mentioned before. I came to work at the house of a wealthy but impoverished person, unaware that the impoverished family observes the Apasota precepts on Buddhist holy days. Then it turned out that the newcomer came in, worked for half the day, and then returned home to the wealthy man's house to eat. He ate breakfast and then went out to eat lunch. But he couldn't because he asked everyone in the wealthy man's house, "Why is the house so quiet? Don't you know that the monk Anathapindika and his entourage are observing the Apasata Buddhist holy day?" "Oh, I didn't know." What is an ordination hall? Go ask the boss. Go and ask It's pathetic, I have to say. The benefits of preserving the church are numerous. When one prospers and dies, as mentioned, one will sleep peacefully and wake up peacefully. Those who do not have nightmares are beloved by angels. Humans cannot harm them. Weapons cannot harm them. Poison cannot harm them. And those who die while practicing meditation will be reborn in the Brahma world. Do you see? Oh, then may I observe the Apasatha precepts for half a day and one night? Yes, you can. There's only half a day left, and you've already run out of time for lunch. It's all right. I'll fast, I'll starve, I'll even die if necessary. I'll observe the Apasata precepts for half a day and one night, okay? But the rich man didn't know what to do. He just went along with her wishes, instructing her to observe the Apasata precepts. The rich man then told his farmhand to practice the precepts. Late at night, my stomach hasn't had any food. I didn't eat during the day. I didn't eat in the evening. The gas builds up and my stomach hurts. I groan and moan in pain. But those who were taking care of my friend said, "Oh, I can't do that. Go tell the wealthy man." The wealthy man told me to stop observing the Apasatha Buddhist Sabbath. He said, "If you don't want to die, then die." But I've practiced this before. If I die while observing the Apasata, I accept the ultimate result. The wind rises violently because there's so much gas in the stomach, piercing the heart. Every man who uses Anathapindika's medicine will die and be reborn in the Tavatimsa heaven. Because of the power of morality, you see, go ask the Buddha. Oh, he said he was reborn in the constellation Prasap, just for half a day and another half day. One night passed before dawn and he died. That's how it is. He died while observing the Apasata Buddhist holy day and was reborn in the Brahma world. See, Prince Mahayanaka's ship broke apart in the middle of the ocean. I pray for the power to see the full moon in the middle of the sea. I observe the Apasata Day Buddhist holy day and spit seawater into my mouth, making a cluck, cluck, cluck sound. I cling to the plank and say, "Even if I die, it's all right." After the question was answered by the great goddess Mahamakala and the goddess Gunga, I observe the precepts. I am willing to die. Lord Mahanimakala said that he would try hard to pay respect to the vast ocean project. Why would I do my best to survive? Do you know how vast the ocean is? I know, but I have to do it. I'm not asking anyone for help. This is the final result. Manimakala carried her to the shore, and she reached the city of Mithila, where she became the ruler. This is the merit of observing precepts. The Apasatha precepts, along with the shame and the medicinal virtues of the gods. These two things I leave for you all to put into practice on the holy day. Even Indra, the king of the gods, asked the Buddha about them, And the Buddha answered, giving a complete understanding of the Buddhist teachings. Rebirth as an angel. Therefore, I would like to leave you with this teaching. The 5 precepts are good, including morality. The 4 sublime states of mind, Brahma Vihara Hara, also good. Whoever practices them on holy days and days of observance will be praised and admired by the deities, and they will uphold these 11 virtues of Brahma. Therefore, the merit today from the hosts and all the devotees, those who hosted the offering of food on Monday, June 29th, were Mr. Fukanabongza and their family from Prachinburi, and Ms. Nathawadi, and Mr. Fanarak Samrak from Yuban, Rachuth, Ms. Fanon Rungsuthia and her family from Switzerland, Ms. Kanukporn and Ms. Panarat Suthong from Rayong, and all the relatives and devotees who came to make merit today. Everyone seated here is from Bangkok, Lamphun, and Chiang Mai. To all the relatives and friends back home, whether you are making merit on your birthday today or making merit for your parents today, after going to the temple, may this merit return to you all with happiness, prosperity, abundance, longevity, good health, strength, wisdom, and wealth. May you all live in peace and prosperity in the Buddhist faith of the Lord Buddha. May your practice of the Dharma lead you closer to the path to nirvana in the near future. May peace and happiness be bestowed upon everyone. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.